Go on, your question.
So show us in
My friend, you need to
in
do
the
sports,
books,
honestly.
in the Word of God, how they taught
Honestly,
Christians
put on
to
weight.
pray.
Sorry?
General question.
Sorry, my friend.
Genuine
How were you
question.
guided to pray?
I will answer that very question.
General question.
Fair questions deserve fair answers.
Loophole, right? I'm not giving you a loophole. I'm just asking a genuine question.
Eat your heart
That
out.
is totally fine.
Pray 5 times and get the reward.
That is
for
totally
50
fine.
times.
Too much Coca-Cola, too much burger here. No, it's fine. Thank you very much.
Notice, guys,
Thank you. No,
right? So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard the criteria. The criteria was, show me in the Bible where Jesus taught us how to pray. So I'm going to show you where in the Bible it teaches Christians how to pray, and then I'm going to ask Muslims to do the same.
I'm not joking.
So, no, you didn't say that. That wasn't the original question. You're changing the criteria. You're changing the criteria.
All the Jews, they are against Jesus and they called him name.
Only some Jews.
No, well, they want to
Only
be
some.
polite
You're wrong about that.
because you have to consider others' religion.
Right.
You took
So in
our
answer to your
Torah,
question,
you took our
in
testament,
Matthew
blah, blah.
chapter 6, don't feed the trolls, guys. These people, he only comes to interrupt my conversations because if he tries to do a talk somewhere else, no one will listen to him.
I love seeing people.
But when you listen to him, you encourage him to behave like a troll. So please, just ignore him. Right, so in answer to your question, right, in Matthew chapter 6, Jesus says, and when you are praying, do not use meaningless repetition as the Gentiles do, for they suppose that they will be heard for their many words. So do not be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you ask. Pray then in this way: Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those who have trespassed against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Now, right, go on.
So which Bible is this?
Right.
Let's change over.
So let's.
Show me the Bible. I'm saying
So I've shown him his question, but now he wants to change the criteria.
No, it's not. It's a follow-up.
So let me answer the question. Fair question. Fair question. Okay, fine. Fair question. Fair sub-question. Fair answer. Is the Gospel of Matthew the original Gospel of the Church? Yes, it is. Why is it the original Gospel of the Church? Because that's the one the Church canonized and ascribed its authority to. So that's the one the Church uses as an authority. Now, ladies and gentlemen. Now, ladies and gentlemen. Just ignore him, bro. Just ignore him. If you ignore the troll, he tends to go away. He gets bored.
I am the
Right?
present.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
Satan for
let me point out this. Muslims claim that this Bible has been changed from some kind of Islamic original, right? But the reality is, Muslims have zero evidence that there ever was an Islamic original. If Muslims are going to claim that the Bible has been changed from an Islamic original, then they must provide the evidence that such an Islamic original ever existed in the first place. Now, I don't know if you're a Muslim. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. Are you a Muslim, sir?
I haven't said that.
I'm asking you now, are you a Muslim?
I'm a Muslim.
Right. Can you show me any evidence at all? I'm asking you a question.
I'm not the speaker. You're the
I'm
speaker.
asking you a
I'm
question.
the student. You're the lecturer.
Right. Well,
Don't ask me questions.
okay. So let me
I'm
make
gonna
a statement
comment on
then.
something
All
I
right.
don't know.
Fine. I'm going to make a
Right?
statement.
That's what my religion
Fine.
teaches.
I'm going to make a statement because, as you've just said, I am the teacher. You are the student.
At this moment,
Let me tell you now, there is zero evidence for there ever being a book called the Injil. No evidence at all. It's a totally unsubstantiated claim from the 7th century made up by Muhammad, and the Muslims have zero evidence of its existence. Not a jot, not a word, not a fragment, not a letter, not a manuscript anywhere in 7 centuries of history. Your turn. What's your next question? Okay.
Muslims don't deny the Bible. Which Muslim said that?
Every Muslim I just spoke to today has denied this Bible. Is this Bible true? Is this Bible true? Okay. Right, so you disagree with all the other Muslims I just spoke to?
Because the Quran says you respect the Bible.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree with you. So now let me ask you this question. You've said that this Bible is true. Right, I want to ask you a question then. Yeah. No, he's making his own. Bro, if you want to jump in the conversation, jump in. But don't interrupt from the sidelines.
No, let me follow the discussion.
Thank you. Come forward, sir. Come forward. So I want to ask you a question. These are the words of Jesus. And he says this. Says, "Behold, I am coming quickly, and my reward is with me, to render to every man according to what he has done. And I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end." So here's my question. According to the Bible, who has the title first and last?
We have a verse in the Quran that we believe in all prophets.
Yep.
We believe in all books.
Yeah.
We believe in all prophets. There are more books than the Quran and the Bible and the Torah. So for every nation there is a prophet, and for every nation there is a book.
Right.
So we don't want to go into the details and differences of books, but we believe in the totality of them because all of them came from God.
Okay.
So we believe in the totality of them.
Brilliant.
If there are differences here and there,
Uncle, now answer my question.
yes.
So my question was, I read from you a verse from the Bible that you said you believe in. So my question to you is this. According to the Bible, who has the title the first and the last?
If Jesus said that, then he's Jesus.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Right,
We
according
agree. The Bible.
according to
So
one
that's
second.
what I'm telling you.
Wait 1 second.
We don't want to go into the details.
Yeah, we do want to go into the details.
I believe in the totality of the books. I
Right.
believe in Jesus.
Right.
I believe in Buddha.
Yeah.
I believe in all the prophets. So every nation has a prophet.
So let's address that let's address that passage. What is your evidence of anyone coming to the Anglo-Saxons, my people, and preaching Islam in the message of the English?
I don't have that evidence. I don't say
Right.
that. I didn't say
I know you didn't. But let me address this point to you. Because the Quran is making a fallacious claim. The Quran is making a false claim.
which
The claim is that Allah has sent a messenger to every people to preach Islam in the language of those people. Let me finish. Uncle, I don't want to get in a shouting match with you. So please, Uncle, I don't want to get in a shouting match with you. So please, when I speak, listen. And when you speak, I will listen. So the Quran states clearly that every nation has had a messenger come in their own language. However, there are many languages that emerge after the 7th century. And so the Quran claims something that is false. The English language came after the dawn of Islam. No Muslim prophet has ever come to preach monotheism to the English. The only people that preached monotheism to the English were the Christian saints like St. Augustine of Canterbury, St. Augustine of Rome. So in other words, the Quran makes a statement that is false. Go on, yes.
in the Quran, Islam is an umbrella. In the Quran, Islam is an umbrella. Under this umbrella, there are rules. Sorry?
Just ignore him. He's a troll. He'll just try to kidnap the conversation. Just ignore him.
there is, under this umbrella, there is Buddhism, there is Islam, there is Catholicism, everybody is under. Islam does not signify only the followers of Muhammad. Followers of Muhammad are mu'minun. But Islam is this kind of umbrella.
Yeah.
So, and prophets will come. There are always people preaching in different places. Chinese have the prophet.
Right, can I reply?
Chinese have the prophet.
Can I reply?
Prophet.
Can I reply? Because if we are saying, I'll debate you in a second. Control yourself. So if you're going to say that the Quranic statement is true, that there's been Muslim messengers going to every nation in their own language, let me finish, Uncle. Right? We should expect to see some kind of evidence of that truth. But the fact is, we see no evidence of that claim. The only person ever that is evidence to preach Islam is Muhammad. So it's simply a false statement of the Quran. And if you're going to make a claim as the Quran does, the onus is on you to provide the evidence to the claim. If you have no evidence, you can't. The Quran stands.
Ethiopia needs good education.
Where is
Ethiopia doesn't need religion.
The Quran says every nation has received a prophet in their own tongue. Yeah, I'll show you.
Not Muhammad, not.
Yeah, I'll show you. Yeah, because you were the first one to state that. You brought this into the argument. So you must know it's there then.
No, not Muhammad.
No, I didn't say Muhammad.
From where you go? From the verse said, Inna ad-dina inda Allah al-Islam. From where you go? When you tell him everything, I believe in this.
Al-Islam is...
Inna ad-dina inda Allah al-Islam. What does it mean?
What is Islam?
No, explain it. Inna ad-din. What's the deen?
What is Islam?
Right, since you've jumped into this conversation, where is your evidence that Muhammad, where is your evidence that there were prophets of Islam in other nations? Where is your evidence? 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 Where is your evidence that there were Muslims? Where is your evidence that there were Muslim prophets who went to other nations to teach Islam? Can you give me a simple evidence of all the different nations that were around before Islam? Can you point to any evidence at all that anyone taught Islam before Muhammad? You can't, can you? You can't. Okay, Uncle, enjoy your conversation with him. Take care. Bye-bye. So,
Welcome back, Bo.
how are we doing, JC?
Sporting a new haircut.
Yep, sporting a new haircut.
So, yeah, Bo.
So, ladies and gentlemen, so we've raised a voice for persecuted Christians in Pakistan. Just as predictable, we saw a whole bunch of Muslims being triggered by that and wanting to change the topic, wanting to whitewash, wanting to obfuscate about the persecution of Christians in the Muslim world. And we refused to jump through their hoops, just like all of you should refuse to jump through the hoops of those who want to talk about anything other than the persecuted church when you raise the topic of the persecuted church. Don't budge an inch, don't give your ground. And then one of the Muslim interlocutors who interrupted was bold enough to challenge me about Christ's divinity. Within 5 minutes he was sent fleeing because Ali Dawah, the coward, pulled him out of the debate. Because for 6 years I've been kicking the ass of every Muslim speaker on the topic of the Bible's teaching about Christ's divinity. And that's why they always run. And ladies and gentlemen, we've seen that Muslims demand of Christians criterions of evidence that they themselves cannot provide. They demand of us to show them in these words X. But when we say to them, show me in these words X, suddenly that criteria is not sufficient and we shouldn't apply it. So it shows that Muslims are working to a double standard, and you should not give them an inch on that line of logic, ladies and gentlemen. And as you can see, Muslims like this one interrupt conversations because they're afraid of debate, and when you challenge them to debate, they simply run away. Why? Because Christians like myself have been kicking the ass of the Dawah team for 6 years. JC, you think 7, I think it's 6. 6 years, ladies and gentlemen, in this park. Don't go to a Muslim to learn about Christianity. Come to a Christian to learn about Christianity, ladies and gentlemen. God bless.